Lord, grace and peace, you guys. You know, I would do the usual Unshakable with April Chapman intro, but I don't even know where to go, where to start, or how this show is going to end. But what are we talking about today, y'all? Y'all thought I was joking when I said that Atlanta is like the bastion of corruption and just all things stir-fried foolishness, marinated and dumb. Y'all, this story today, I'm almost ashamed to report on it, but it's the news, and so therefore, we've got to talk about it. So recently, it was made public that a judge in Fulton County was caught cutting something, having sexual relations with an Atlanta PD officer. Not that they got caught, having an affair. No, y'all, this is just way more intense than that. These two were caught having intercourse during work hours in the judge's chamber. And y'all, I hate the fact that it's a black woman and a black man, but there's something to be said about the kind of individuals that are being placed into positions of power. These people are of low moral character. And I mean, at this point, the standards are just all out the window. I mean, look here. At this point, we got a DA who was involved with the special prosecutor and thought that she could bring down the president or the former president at the time of the United States, and was so bold and brazen with her sexual impropriety that she never expected to be disqualified from the case. And now I got to react to this foolishness. So first of all, let's go ahead and take a look at the clip.
New at 6, a federal judge and a high-ranking Atlanta police official are at the center of explosive allegations.
It involves sexual encounters inside the judge's chambers during work hours. Tonight, Channel 2 investigative reporter Ashley Lincoln breaks down the judicial order. And Ashley, federal judges discovered this activity went on for years.
Yeah, according to this 20-page order from the chief judge over the 11th district. Now, the report does not name the judge, but for the last 2 days, I've been speaking with sources and going through public records to identify the accused after federal employees complained about hearing intimate noises through the walls.
Okay, y'all, this is not some little local magistrate judge that just deals with, traffic violations or something like that. This woman is a federal court judge. And it seems how this was discovered is that there were some individuals that were not named. And I think eventually people put two and two together, because it ain't because she was out here talking about what she was doing, but the audio, right? The audio evidence of what she was doing was so loud and so intense that employees were complaining about hearing these special noises coming from the judge's chambers. Like, lady, what are we out here even doing?
These are serious allegations.
They're allegations of sexual encounters during work hours that a federal judge admitted to, according to this newly released judicial order. The report details an investigation launched after a complaint was filed against a federal judge last September.
I don't think judges are perfect. They're human beings, too.
Former federal prosecutor Doug Gilfillan says federal laws allow judges' identities to remain undisclosed in reports like these to protect the integrity of investigations.
However, the law requires an order like this one to be made public if there's an imposition of discipline.
The report claims the judge had sex on at least 5 occasions over a 2-year period inside her chambers with a high-ranking police officer.
Lady, listen, Linda, listen. 5 separate occasions, you during business hours. Like, to me, this is deeper than, she just had a weak moment. This is reflective of this culture of indulgence, the lack of self-control, the lack of boundaries, the lack of professional decorum that is so lacking in not just our judicial system, but just this is a cultural problem. Like, what is going on with you that at work in the middle of the day that you got to get it in like this? at work in the middle of the day? And okay, listen, I'm a Christian, so I'm not advocating for any of this sexual impropriety or these types of antics or discretions at all, because we're soon going to find out that this woman is married. Okay, so I'm not advocating for that. What I am trying to understand is, why is it that you felt it necessary to engage in this kind of high risk behavior in the middle of the workday and then be loud about it? Like, you can't just put your hand over your mouth or something, or put I don't know, a stuffed animal. Control yourself. So you just couldn't contain yourself at all, or you believe that you were just so powerful that you could be this bold and this brazen, and that even though you know everybody can hear and everybody knows, because let me guess, everybody's doing it, you didn't think that you would get caught or that there would be any consequences to you participating in this type of impropriety. Like, well, and think about it. Fonnie Willis set the precedent, and it used to be a point in time where we expected this kind of reckless behavior from men, not excusing it, but it is rare that you are like, okay, there's all of these women in positions of power, and then they are abusing their power and doing things like this, so bold and brazen that it's like, I just don't give a darn. Like, I need to get mine, and I'm gonna get it with this police. Listen, I this makes absolutely no sense to me. This is just an easy layup. Like, you getting caught for something like this is just reckless and stupid.
Employees interviewed during the investigation described multiple incidents where they allegedly heard people having sex through the walls. One court clerk testified to hearing what was described as unsettling noises, kissing, and music coming from the judge's chambers.
This chick was having a whole blue lights in the basement moment at work. Like, just setting the whole stage and having a whole vibe so that she could satisfy the lust of her flesh at work. As if, let me guess, there was nowhere else you could go. No Airbnb, no hotel, motel, Holiday Inn, car, truck, or trailer. You had to do this inside the judge's chambers during business hours while you were at work, and just loud and proud about it. Like, I don't worry about it.
Why should the everyday person care about these allegations?
The American legal system depends on honesty and truthfulness.
This investigative report did not identify.
I think it's deeper than just honesty and truthfulness. Lady, you cannot control your sexual urges during the business day. What are you, some sort of nymphomaniac? Or are you some sort of sex addict? You couldn't wait till you got home or when you got off of work? Like, you just had to you had to have it now because you in heat. What are you, a dog? I mean, this is ridiculous.
By the judge or the officer, but multiple sources confirmed to Channel 2 that federal judge Eleanor Ross and Atlanta Police Deputy Chief Kelly Collier were the two accused. In the complaint, the judge's employee said she attended a primary election victory party for a district attorney on May 21st, 2024. A source provided Channel 2 this photo showing Ross at that party. The order also says the judge presided over a hearing the following day. Channel 2 obtained federal court records showing Ross presided over a supervised release hearing on May 22nd, 2024. And regarding the officer, the chief judge wrote the officer has worked for the PD since 1998, later adding that the officer has held this role since 2025. Atlanta police records show Collier joined the department in 1998, and his LinkedIn profile reflected a promotion in 2025.
The chronic victim can never be trusted, says Carl Young.
Because I want you to know that I am more offended as an African-American woman than you will ever be.
The chronic victim can never be trusted.
The reason we could never be who we wanted and dreamed to be in is you kept your knee on our neck. We could run corporations and not hustle in the street, but you had your knee on our neck. We had creative skills. We could do whatever anybody else could do. But we couldn't get your knee off our neck.
The chronic victim victim can never be trusted.
It's a cruel jest to say to a bootless man that he ought to lift himself by his own bootstraps.
Stay on your knees. Stay on the plantation, boy. I've decided to be a free man. Slave is a choice.
You know, let me just stop that right there. What I was going to say is that here's something I want to highlight. Both of these parties are absolutely in the wrong. But notice how, don't tell me that men and women are the same, because they're not. You know why we know that's not true? Because say what you want about this Atlanta PD officer. Now, I think they both should be fired. Like, you just need to lose your job because you're reckless and you're stupid. Okay, you have no self-control and you don't have business being in charge of anybody, because we can't trust your leadership. We can't trust that you are going to conduct yourself in a professional manner at all times during business hours, because y'all got the can't help it. But in this situation, I don't care what you say, the public is always going to look at the woman with much harsher scrutiny than we ever will this man. Yes, he's a snake. He's a dog. She is married, but people are going to look at her with the side eye. And now people are going to question her integrity, and people are going to question her professional ability to maintain professional decorum, because you're doing this at work and you are a federal judge. It shows that you lack sound judgment. You are not sober-minded, because you ain't even got sense enough to say, look, holla at you after work. And I get it. I understand leftists typically, especially in Atlanta, y'all all have this sentiment of F the police. But we didn't mean like this, okay? Not literally. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, not like that, lady. Not like that. So, at the end of the day, this man has been with the Atlanta Police Department since 1998, but he's been the chief deputy of the Atlanta Police Department since 2025. How they met, I don't know. But at the end of the day, she has now tarnished her professional reputation. And Lord knows, as I am told, her husband is a judge in a neighboring county, in DeKalb County. This is incredibly embarrassing. How do you bounce back from this? How do you and your husband just move on after everybody in the public done found out that you was getting it in and getting down with the get down in the middle of the workday, not once, not twice, but on a minimum of 5 times in your chambers with an Atlanta police officer? Like, lady, like, I hope your marriage can survive and you can bounce from this, because I don't know. I don't know. I don't know a whole lot of dudes that be like, I'll take you back. I don't know.
LinkedIn page has since been taken down. I reached out to Ross, but a representative responded with no comment. The chief judge has already issued Ross a private reprimand, and she agreed to write apology letters to her employees. She was also reprimanded for attending a political event, as federal judges are prohibited from participating in political activities.
See, this is why we cannot have any semblance of law and order on our streets and in our communities and in the culture at large, because when a federal judge does something like this, she gets a reprimand. Let me guess, liberals. This is what restorative justice looks like, where you're not really held accountable for what you did. They just sit you down and explain and talk to you like you 5. Like, now, you know, Judge Ross, now you know this was inappropriate for you to be having sex in the middle of the workday with an Atlanta police officer. And, you know, y'all was loud and y'all had music. And, you know, we don't know if y'all had wine and cheese and other condiments and things, but we are just going to reprimand you because you should know that this is beyond the scope of what professional conduct looks like. So she gets a little slap on the wrist, reprimand for that, and for showing up to a political event. This is why we cannot restore law and order, because it stops from the top down. And if we can't even hold our judges accountable, what makes you think we can hold these children accountable? Huh? What makes you think that we can keep our cities safe and that the law is going to be enacted judiciously and properly if in situations like this where professional decorum and ethics and all kinds of rules of professional conduct are just violated because this woman is hot in the pants and can't wait till she get off work? How are we supposed to trust any of your judicial decisions when you can't even come to work and gird up your loins and keep your legs closed until after 5 o'clock? I mean, listen, I don't want this video to be too long. I'm here in Atlanta. Thank goodness I don't live in Fulton County, but I wanted to cover this because I think it just demonstrates just how low and how far we have fallen. That our judicial system and faith and confidence in our judicial system is so non-existent that when a federal judge is known to be having sexual intercourse in the middle of the workday with an Atlanta PD officer, and she loud and proud about it, and they moaning and groaning and playing music, and you can just hear all of the audio evidence of their encounter, nothing happens to her. She just gets to keep her job because let me guess, if you fire her, right, or tell her that she got to get off the bench, she's going to say, you're just targeting me because we are a sexually passionate people, and you know we like to express ourselves in a myriad of ways, and y'all gonna tell me that what I was doing in the middle of the workday was impacting my ability to do my job? I think that's how the scenario is going to go if they were actually going to enact some sort of penalty or punishment. I personally think they both should be fired. He doesn't need a job, and neither does she. Because if he would sleep with her in the judge's chambers, Lord knows what he'll do in the back of the paddy wagon. Okay, Lord knows what he will do inside the county jail if the opportunity presents itself. It means there's no discretion, no professional decorum. It's I do what I want to do. When the feeling hits, well, hurry up, here it go. Let's get it on. That's what these people are doing. But anyway, y'all, what do y'all think? And am I being too harsh? Am I just being too extreme to expect a federal judge and a deputy police chief for a major municipality to be able to control themselves and refrain from their extracurricular activities, at least during the business day? This would be different if this happened off company grounds somewhere else, right? But this is our judicial system. Our tax dollars pay to upkeep it. And instead of y'all doing your job and enacting the law and making justice determinations, you out here splattered, just anyway. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Leave me your thoughts down in the comments below. And until next time, you guys, stand firm, stay bold, and above all else, stay unshakable. Grace and